so now we will go to this one, 2.1.2 model hubungan data. Alright, so basically this one is, I believe you already set your project, right? And confirm you will see this before. Alright, this one is the one, I don't really remember. Is it under PHP? Yeah, something to do with this. Basically, this is I can say the core of your project itself. Without this, all the coding is a shit, right? Because this is the most important core itself in your project. Without this, your project really cannot run. Alright, so yep. And basically we will learn about this in this subtopic. Alright, so in this 2.1.2 model hubungan data, in here it just gives you sort of a bio data about this model hubungan data. So yeah, basically this is a history, and if you want to ask me what is the important keyword in this part, basically I can say the last sentence probably. Why? It's because I just want to tell you what is actually model hubungan data lah. So it's memberikan gambaran, because they give you a direct image, right? Through the table you can know what is the relationship, alright? And then yang ingin dibangunkan. So for example, your project, alright, what you want to build in your project, and you must tell them lah through this model hubungan data. Alright, so kunci hubungan, kunci primer, kunci asing. Yes, this one. Wait, I think I can just give me some time. Oops. Yeah, this two is the keyword. Yeah, why cannot highlight on? Kunci primer. Let's switch it to blue color. Okay. And also kunci asing. This is the one. In my exam, they got asked about this, They give me the definisi, and they want me to identify whether it's a kunci primer or kunci asing. I think they asked about kunci primer, if not mistaken, because I remember the word unique. So yeah, I think it's kunci primer they asked in my SPM. And yeah, basically here I just want to tell you, I think the important one is only the definisi lah for the kunci primer and kunci asing. Next, for the ciri-ciri hubungan. Alright, for ciri-ciri hubungan, this one is the one I can say. Wait, let me check whether is it the one. Oh, heaven. 1NF, 2NF, 3NF is under. It's under schema hubungan. Alright. But yeah, you can just learn first. Actually, the important in this ERG is just now the one I mentioned, which is the shape one. And another important one is the 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. In this one, they also compulsory will ask in your. Actually, it's not compulsory, because in my SPM they don't ask 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. Not mistaken, they didn't ask, because if they ask this question, actually it will cost you probably a 5 mark above. Alright, but in my trial, in my SPM, they didn't ask about this 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. But yeah, it's also a very important topic that you should go through before your SPM. It's because higher chances it will come up. Alright, and yeah, so let's just go through one by one first. I don't want to skip, because if I skip, it will be kind of messy later, up, down, right? So let's just go through this ciri-ciri hubungan first. Wait, let me save. Alright. So ciri-ciri model hubungan data. Hubungan data jadual yang terdiri daripada rekod dan medan. Basically, this is definisi. Alright, so ciri-ciri hubungan itself here. You can use this Wait, let me. It's a bit blur. Okay, let's just go through here. Ciri-ciri hubungan. So setiap hubungan, or you can call the jadual, dan setiap attribute, sorry for the mistake, and medan mempunyai nama yang berbeza daripada nama-nama hubungan yang lain. So in this place, a lot of people actually they were confused at first, even though myself I was confused like, actually what is Medan? What is nama Medan? If you actually learn the SQL, actually Medan, this word is very like it's familiar for you lah, because you already go through it. You already know what's nama Medan, right? So in here, I already bracket for you. This is actually what you want to bring the meaning. Hubungan, it actually tells you about the jadwal, whereas attribute, it actually tells you about the medan. Okay, so in exam, I don't advise you, because this one I don't really remember where I get the notes from, but the jadwal and the medan is not mistaken. I add myself one. Alright, so it's not from the textbook, it's not from anywhere, I'm not so sure. But if you really want to, in exam they ask you one of the ciri-ciri hubungan, and you want to use this ciri in your answer, I mean you want to write it in your SPM, I don't think it's good if you want to bracket the jadwal and you want to bracket the medan, because I bracket that is for my own understanding. Alright, and again I repeat, I'm not really sure that is this bracket exists in your textbook. Alright, I'm not really sure. If it exists, okay, you can just write it. But if not, then it's better to not follow lah, because that's for the explanation purpose only. Alright, so yeah, next let's go to the next ciri-ciri hubungan. Setiap rekod adalah berbeza. What I mean by setiap rekod adalah berbeza, in this stuff it's blur again, sorry. Let me try. Is it possible if I let me try. Comment cannot. So sad. Alright, sorry. Wait, let me try. What did I press? Okay. Cancel. Sorry. Alright, so what you mean by setiap rekod adalah berbeza? What you want to tell is actually the record itself, although they have a relationship, but the record in that is different. Alright, it's different. So you can see, although it's blur, but you will notice that actually they are like how to say? You see, this has 2 data, this has 3 data, this has 3 data. It's related. 3 of them is related, but they are not the same. Okay, basically that's what the meaning lah. I believe that the explanation here, or I say the word they use to explain the ciri-ciri hubungan, is very clear enough. Alright, it's all in layman term, it's very easy to understand. So yeah, basically I think shouldn't be a problem for you lah. So next, go to the third ciri-ciri. Alright, so the third ciri-ciri will be setiap data dalam hubungan mempunyai satu nilai sahaja berbeza. Okay, this one, so sorry again, it's blur, but you will notice somewhere it's blur, but you can see, right? I guess you see in here, like, you know, mistaken 23, 24, 25, right? And then you see 24, 24, and I don't know, 24, 23, 24. Like it related, and it when the how to say, the only differences in it, you will notice is only one differences. I don't know how to explain this to you lah, but let me organize my sentence. I don't know how, but yeah, I think how to explain to you? Never mind, I gave up. If you don't understand, you just PM me and I explain to you again. Yeah, but satu nilai saja berbeza lah. This is what they want to say. You can realize that like in your project itself, probably you go explore it yourself. When I told you, right, remember to check always for your project. The part where you do this model pangkalan model hubungan data, you go to check, you will realize that there's one record berbeza. Really, trust me, because I do that when I go for, like after I did my project, I only know that, actually I learned this in the textbook is because, you know, right, I take this comp science as an extra subject, so I didn't study from the syllabus only, then I know do the project, because my case is I do the project then only I study. So yeah, I only realized that, oh, there's a linker there, and I go to check, oh, it's really one record per bezel saja. And yeah, you probably can check for yourself lah. And then the next will be susunan attribute, which is the medan lah. And susunan record tidak mempunyai kepentingan, which is they have no like, oh, this is more important than that. No, all is related. Alright, so next, hubungan yang mempunyai ciri-ciri di atas, dipanggil pernormalan dan atau bentuk permodalan pertama, which is the 1NF. Syarat-syarat yang menepati bentuk pernormalan pertama 1NF, and it's mempunyai nilai yang tidak boleh dibahagikan lagi and tidak mempunyai kumpulan yang berulang. Sorry, this one because I type the notes. Wait, so kumpulan and the syarat here. This is the one you need to take note. Okay, so basically 1NF lah. You can understand it as the original version of your record. Okay, the original version. What I mean by original version is what is in your record, you just copy and paste, that's it. Okay, just that in your question, it's based on your question again. It's based on your question. If your question itself is like one pack of data, like a whole bunch of it, then after you need to organize them, like you need to organize, oh, this belongs to this, that belongs to that. Then after you do your 1NF, alright, it's based on your question. But usually how I explain 1NF is original version, copy and paste. That's it. Alright, so you can see the syarat is very simple. Very simple here. Which is mempunyai nilai tidak boleh dibahagikan. Basically, just what you want to mean is whatever nilai in there, you don't need to. It's already itself individual itself. You just copy and paste. And another thing is tidak mempunyai kumpulan yang berulang. That's it. Alright, let's go to here. Let me see. Okay, I think this is a good example to explain what is kunci primer and kunci asing. Because up there here, I only tell you the definisi, right? This both is a definisi. Yeah, this is the definisi itself. And so in here, it's already the example, and it's very good. Why? Because you can see, this is one of the way you can write your hubungan, alright? But it's based on the question again. If they didn't state that you must draw in a table form, you can write like that. It's acceptable. It's just based on your personal reference. For me, actually, I don't really, although it's much more easier compared to draw the jadwal, but I still prefer to draw the jadwal lah. Don't ask me why. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. But for you, if you malas to draw the jadwal, it's okay. You can write like this lah. Of course, in the terms of the question itself didn't ask you to draw the table form. Okay, it didn't state clearly. Then after you can write like that lah. Alright, so yeah, in this case we can know that the nama jadwal is murid. Okay, this one I hope you understand lah. And yeah, another thing here I would like to highlight is usually nama jadwal, again, except let's just like don't say that if the question they put in this form, if the question the nama table they put like that, then okay, we cannot say anything. We must copy and paste exactly the same. But when there is cases where if the nama jadwal itself it's like that, it's exactly like this, which is all big capital letter, and so it's like that. Remember, when you transfer the value, it must be all big capital letter, exactly the same as the question itself. You don't play something like this, when the exam is like that, exactly like that, and then you tiba-tiba in your answer, you write like this. You write like this. No, it's a big no. Okay, please don't do this kind of silly mistake. As I know, it will be tolak makalah. As I know lah. Please don't do something like that. Alright, it's very, sorry to say lah, it's very stupid lah. Okay, because it's really a very, very, very damn careless mistake. Alright, you should avoid that. And it's already like, how do I say it? Once you do much practice or exercise about this 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, or even though the model hubungan data, you will realize that majority of the nama jadah all is big capital letter. Alright, it's usually majority, confirm lah I can say, all big capital letter. Alright, so yeah, please follow it. Alright, don't really do it into the small capital letter, or you want to, play stuff with that. No, never ever. Again, I repeat, never ever do that. Alright, so yeah, in this place, my nama jadah is murid, and then my kunci primer is nombor kad pengenalan. Again, always remember, kunci primer is something to do with a word called unique. Alright, when it's unique, always remember that when it comes to unique, it means that 独一无二. Alright, 独一无二 means that only I have, you don't have. Alright, everyone's IC number is different. Why? First, it will based on the date you birth. Second, the place, and also the last 4 digit, what it represents really, I don't really remember. But what I want to say is, everyone's IC number is confirmed different one. Alright, don't tell me 同年同月同日生, and then the same location also, but the behind 4 digit confirm will be different one. Alright, confirm will be different one. So everyone, the nombor kad pengenalan will be the unique one, the special one, and so it is your kunci primer. Okay, another thing that if you don't want, if the question didn't put nombor kad pengenalan, probably they will do something like what is unique? Let me think. Probably your student card ID. Your student card ID, of course, will be different from other students. Alright, something to do with like that lah. And yeah, so nombor kad pengenalan will be your kunci primer. This is what I want to tell you lah. Not usually, I should say, compulsory confirm nombor kad pengenalan will be your kunci primer. Like usually in questions, once you see the word nombor kad pengenalan, yeah, you can just direct link into the kunci primer. But of course, based on situations. Alright, based on situation. And yeah, when it comes to kunci asing, let's focus on kunci asing now. And so you can know, actually these two, they are linked. Okay, they are linked. And so you will notice that here is exactly the same. Oh, sorry, here. But what I want to tell you is they are linked lah, okay? Although they are not exactly the same, they are not identical. But what I want to tell you is, you see behind here, they got a thing called nombor code. And then when it comes to the another jadwal, which is mata pelajaran, and you will see the nombor code, it's underlined, which means that in this jadwal name, mata pelajaran, nombor code is your kunci primer. If we separate and see that, if we separate and see both of this, you will realize that in the mata pelajaran itself, nombor code is the kunci primer. Okay, if you confused, alright, fine. Just pretend you cannot see this. Okay, just pretend you cannot see. And then you realize, in this mata pelajaran jadwal, the number code is your kunci primer. But when it comes to the relationship, you will realize that number code in behind here, in the behind of this number, the nama jadual of the murid, number code will be the kunci asing. What it means by kunci asing? Kunci asing means it is related, but in here it is the king. When it comes to here, it is like, how to say? It will become the behind one. Wait, I think you'll be confused like how I explain this. Wait, let me think. How do I explain this? Yeah, what I want to say is, okay lah, let's just delete what I say. Ayo, I am so confused already. Wait, let me think how should I explain it to you. Okay, this is... Alright, there got two jadual here. One jadual named murid, another jadual named mata pelajaran. Clear? For now, clear? Alright. Afterwards, in your murid, number code will be your kunci primer. Clear? Alright. But in this jadwal, number code is also one of the so-called kunci primer. Okay, the so-called kunci primer, but actually it's not. Why I say so is because in one jadwal itself, it only allows one kunci primer. Only satu kunci primer. Because why? Attribute yang unik. Alright, confirm only have one. This one will be the king. Clear? But when it comes to the relationship, let's just pretend lah. Let's just assume we cannot see this jadwal. Then you will realize that in this jadwal mata pelajaran, there's a thing called number code. And this number code is the so-called kunci primer, right? If we only have this jadwal, let's just assume this. And then your number code will be your kunci primer, right? Yeah. But then when it comes to the relationship, you will realize that number code it's not underlined dark. You see garis putus-putus. It means it will be something like this. It's because of my, I don't know why when it compiled it's this blur, but your number code will be something like that. The garis putus-putus one. And so you can compare the darkness lah, the intensity, the color intensity of the number code pengenalan and the number code is like a bit different. Yes, it's because number code pengenalan it's a kunci primer, right? And so they will underline like that. Whereas for kunci asing will become like this. Okay, so when it comes to the relationship, we clearly know that number code is no more the kunci primer. Why? It's because number code it repeat twice. Second thing that you already know, number code pengenalan is the only one kunci primer. And so by then you must know that number code will be your kunci asing. Am I clear? I think this is the correct way of how I should explain this now. Sorry if I make you confused, but yeah, this is actually the way you do. Alright, but for me, you don't really need to think this much. Alright, once you do more practice, you really can automatically know what is the kunci primer, what is the kunci asing. This is how I do. Usually in a question, okay, I cannot give you an example but let's just go here. Okay, let's probably I draw it in white. In the question itself, if one attribute repeat twice, then I will call it as attribute. I will know that it is the kunci asing. When it repeat twice. The same attribute repeat twice. It seems to be important, but it's not. It's just like, yeah, it seems important, but it's not. Why? It's because in one jadwal or in one model hubungan data, it only allows one kunci primer. This is how I remember lah. So if you ask me, I still don't understand. What should I do? Okay, actually, it's very easy. What you need to do in your exam, if you're always confused, like when should I use the garis putus-putus for my kunci asing, and when should I use the garis like that, what I will do lah, let's just state it step by step, so probably you can have a clear image. First step you should do, identify your kunci primer. Once you identify your kunci primer, your life will be much more easier. Okay, once you identify your kunci primer, next step, you need to look. Okay, you observe your data first. Then after, you will realize some of the data itself, it seems to be important, but actually it's not. Alright, like just now in that case, it's nombor code. In my mata pelajaran jadual, nombor code is very important. Why? Because each mata pelajaran has its own nombor code, right? It makes sense, right? And so by then, nombor code in this nama jadual is very important. But when it comes to the jadual murid, actually it just want to tell you that this student get which type of mata pelajaran, right? But then as a Com Science student, of course you will know that it's like very troublesome if you write each mata pelajaran, the nama of your code mata pelajaran, right? So instead of writing the nama, you will write the code, right? And so the nombor code itself, it seems important. But when it comes to the jadual murid, it just want to represent your nama of the mata pelajaran. And so your nombor code, it will be not that important in your jadual murid, because it just want to represent. When it just want to represent, it's not that important lah. And so the second thing you need to do is just purely observe. Once you observe, what you need to observe is basically the one like what I said, your kunci asing. Usually you will clearly observe them through the separation of jadual, and then you will realize that this nombor code exists in the jadual murid. It also exists in your jadual mata pelajaran. And so by then, through this observation, you will know that actually nombor code is my kunci asing. Alright, I hope you understand now. Again, if you don't understand, you just PM me lah once you're free. Alright, so yep, I also stopped here first. Wait, let me check. Yeah, let's just stop there lah. This one, yeah, let's just stop here. So yep.